The nightmare of a German U-boat crew capturing and boarding a U.S. Navy warship. During World War II, massive U.S. Navy airships patrolled the Atlantic Ocean from the skies above, under direct orders to never attack a dangerous enemy submarine on your own without reinforcements. Why? Because this might happen. Top secret equipment and code books falling into enemy hands. This is the unlikely story of the clash between the U.S. blimp K-74 and the German sub U-134. A battle that was never supposed to happen. July 18th, 1943. The east coast of the United States was filled with tension. German U-boats, the silent hunters of the Atlantic, threatened vital Allied supply lines. But on this night, one of the most improbable encounters of World War II unfolded. This is the story of the U.S. Navy blimp K-74 and the German submarine U-134. A battle that was never supposed to happen. By 1943, the Battle of the Atlantic had reached a critical juncture. Over 100 German U-boats prowled the waters, sinking alarming numbers of Allied ships with ruthless efficiency. But the Allies began to fight back, developing new weapons and unconventional tactics. Lighter-than-air blimps, armed giants carrying advanced technology, airborne radar, and magnetic anomaly detection, both innovations proving surprisingly effective at spotting U-boats from the sky. The main type of airship used in the Atlantic was the K-class blimp, of which 134 were built before and during World War II. While blimps were useful for finding U-boats on the surface, or pinning them down after they had dived, Navy procedure dictated that airships were never supposed to attack U-boats on the surface, where the enemy could easily target the massive blimps with anti-aircraft fire. Rather, airship crews were specifically ordered to hold position until other help arrived. On this fateful night, the K-74, commanded by Lieutenant Nelson Grills, was on a routine patrol off the coast of Florida. Its mission: guard Allied convoys from prowling enemy U-boats. What the crew of the K-74 never expected was a clash with the deadly U-134. Shortly after 11 p.m., the blimp's crew detected an enemy U-boat on radar. Changing course toward the contact, they spotted an ominous silhouette slicing through the water below. It was the German submarine U-134, heading in the direction of a U.S. tanker and freighter. Lieutenant Grills had to make a choice. Either radio for reinforcements that surely would not arrive in time to prevent the sub from launching torpedoes, or engage the enemy now in order to save the U.S. transport ships. Against standing orders barring him from attacking enemy U-boats, Grills made a bold decision. What followed was an unprecedented aerial sea battle. Just before midnight, the K-74 descended towards the German sub and opened fire with its .50 caliber machine gun. Passing directly overhead, the bombardier dropped 2 depth charges, which failed to sink the U-134. But the U-boat's crew wasn't about to retreat. They swiveled the sub's deck gun towards the massive shape of the airship overhead and returned fire. The blimp's starboard engine was hit, and the tanks holding the blimp's helium were repeatedly punctured. The air crew fought valiantly, returning fire with their small onboard guns. But blimps, unlike planes, were slow-moving targets, and the K-74 was soon riddled with holes. Once past the U-134, the blimp's envelope began deflating, and the K-74 lost altitude and settled into the dark ocean below. The U-134 only suffered slight damage, but was able to submerge after the attack. The Blimp's crew donned their life jackets and abandoned K-74 after it settled into the water. However, the envelope took a long time to sink, and Lieutenant Grills re-entered the gondola to ensure all classified material had been tossed overboard. When he exited, he became separated from his crew and decided to make his way to shore. The next morning, Grills was picked up by a submarine chaser SC-675, 6 miles from where K-74 went down. Meanwhile, the other 8 crew members had stayed together and were spotted next morning by a Grumman J-4F amphibian plane. While the water was too rough for the amphibian to land, it alerted the destroyer USS Dahlgren, which rescued 7 of the 8 remaining crewmen. However, just minutes before USS Dahlgren arrived, that 8th crewman, aviation machinist's mate Isidore Stessel, was attacked and killed by a shark. This unlikely battle underscored the desperate stakes of the Atlantic theater. The bravery of Lieutenant Grills and his men on the night of July 18, 1943, earned them respect, but no medals. Because Grills ignored orders against attacking a U-boat, some called for his court-martial. Others praised the decisive courage of Lieutenant Grills in the face of overwhelming odds, arguing the 2 ships the K-74's crew was trying to protect ultimately escaped torpedo attack from U-134. Lieutenant Grills received neither a court-martial nor a commendation, and the K-74 was the only blimp lost to enemy action in World War II. But it wasn't until a magazine article published 15 years later, in January 1958, revealed the unthinkable. A U.S. Navy blimp had been boarded by the enemy. After the crew of the K-74 swam away from the sinking airship and the light of dawn was beginning to show, the 134 surfaced. The sub's crew found the gondola of the airship, along with the deflated envelope still floating on the water. The gondola was pulled alongside, and the deflated envelope dragged on deck. The German submariners began snapping pictures. This vital photographic intelligence was quickly transferred to another U-boat and sent back to Germany. Weeks later, on August 24th, U-134 was badly damaged by a second air attack in the Florida Straits, this time by carrier aircraft from USS Croton, and was finally sunk in the Bay of Biscay by HMS Rother. The clash between K-74 and U-134, blimp versus submarine. It reminds us of the unpredictable nature of war, unlikely foes in the iconic Battle of the Atlantic. If you enjoyed the story of the battle between K-74 and the U-boat U-134, then click on this video.